This is TVC News with only one Kenobi, the one and Obi channel for Star Wars collecting news. Yes, hello there, this is only one Kenobi, only one. Excuse the no frills introduction, that was me doing the voiceover, and then here I am now, but I might do a title sequence for this. I just thought I'd give it an actual title for a news slot whenever there is new news. However, what I'm going to talk about today isn't exactly that new, it's just something that I haven't commented on directly on my channel, and that is what is on the box, Jabba's Palace box. I had the opportunity when I did a podcast with usual Mike a month or so ago. We were talking about all the items from the news fair. It slipped my mind to talk about some of the characters that you can see on the box that are clues or evidence for what we might get in the future. My favourite subject, what will be in the vintage collection further down the line. Also, a little shout out now to Bosk's Bounty, who hit 1,000 subscribers recently. He did a video last week when he talked about Jabba's Palace playset in one of his videos, and he talked again about the items, the characters on the box, and what we can expect. So now it is my turn. I just haven't done it yet, but I want to talk about it. So firstly, let's talk about who we can see on the box. We can see Bib Fortuna, we can see Jabbas, we can even see Elephant Man, or Elephant Man, I believe his name is. It sounds like Elephant Man. And even Salacious Crumb is on there. So what do we think? Now, a while ago, I did a video in a series called the Vintage Collection Wishlist. My last episode of that series was Bib Fortuna, and he's such a big wish for me. It's amazing that he's episode 21 or whatever he is, because he, it's a character I had as a kid. It's one I'd love to see in the vintage collection. And here he is now on Jabba's Palace inside the playset there. Well, for the publicity shot anyway, that could mean nothing really. It could mean that Hasbro have either used some archive figures to put inside the picture, or it's actually a little wink wink now that we will get him. I don't know, what do you think? Now, this is a little bit bittersweet now, because it's great to see he's on the box and it's a prospect for the future, but the figure I am not impressed with. I don't own the figure that you're seeing there, but I'm pretty sure that is the Saga Collection Bib Fortuna, and it's terrible. I don't know what it is. He's like that. He's got his mouth. He looks like he is. I don't know what he's doing. It's just every figure I see for Bib Fortuna, he's got his mouth open. I know he smiles and all that in the movie and shows his teeth. However, like I said in my episode of the Wishlist, he is a perfect figure or character to do a brand new sculpt and realization of him, because they could get a neutral face of him and use the what you call it now, the photoreal technology, whatever. I don't like that figure that's on display there. So yes, it could be good that he's coming in the vintage collection. Bad if that's a repack, because repacks, I don't mind some repacks. Some of them I like, as long as the figure is good. If they're going to repack a crap figure, doesn't get my vote. Anyway, speaking of repacks, Jabbas. Now, Jabbas, I want desperately a Jabba release. I don't care if it's a repack. In fact, I was very impressed with the Jabba figures that were available. Stay there. These guys were great. They were awesome figures, and they could be improved. They could be plussed if they had the time, Hasbro, or the desire. They could put some soft goods robes on there that would make them awesome and definitive. However, as far as I'm concerned, I just want to see the Jawa card come out, because there's one card back and one card back only that remains now from the original 12 that hasn't had a modern release, and that is the Jawas. So they could call it Jawas and put a plural on that, so as opposed to the original card for Jawa was just one Jawa, they could call it Jawas, repack these, or even put some soft goods on them. But anyway, there they are on the playset picture, and that is a good clue that they could be coming out further down in the vintage collection line. Who knows? That brings me to Elephant Man, or Elephant Man. This figure is colossal, really heavy. I can't see him fitting on a traditional vintage collection card because he's so big, but why is he there? Again, are they just bringing these figures out from the archive because they suit the diorama, or are they actually going to be coming out in the future? Now, there's two ways of looking at this. Number one, yes, they are coming out in the future, or number two, it is literally Hasbro plucking out of the archive certain figures. Now, I can tell you this, that the tank, the Rogue One tank, on the front cover of that, or the box for that, they had stormtroopers, but they weren't the future Stormtroopers that are going to be in the vintage collection, because there was a Rogue One trooper coming up. Here he is, and he is pretty darn awesome. However, the Stormtrooper they chose was an old Black Series one. It was a kit bash of the VC 14, I believe. Yeah, it was this kit bash one that came out in the Black Series. That's the ones that you saw on the front cover for the tank. So that's he's not going to be coming out like that again. So they've obviously just cherry picked ones from the past just for the purposes of the publicity photograph. So yes, on one hand you could get excited about these boxes and what's on them, but the other side of the argument is it might not mean anything. Speaking of which, Salacious Crumb, there he is, he's on the front of the cover. What does that mean? Is he coming back out? I tell you what, I don't own a Salacious Crumb for two reasons. Number one, I think he's not the right size for me. Let me show you what size he is. This is a card I got from my good friend Blizzard Force Customs. It's a small sized card, and it's probably the same size and scale as Salacious Crumb and the Mouse Droid. Now, not only do they cost a shed load of money, a ridiculous amount of money for something so small and trivial, I just don't see them as part. They have a VC number, but I just don't class them as part of the vintage collection. I'm sorry, I don't own them. I've just never been interested in parting with that much money. No way. Now, if they did bring him back one way or another, Salacious Crumb, that would really annoy. I'm sure it would really turn off people who've spent a lot of money on a Salacious Crumb, or I don't know. But he is there, that's interesting. It might be interesting to see if they could repack him somewhere, but probably not on the small size card as they did a while ago. There you go, this is just a quick live video I thought I would do. No editing, because I'm running out of time this weekend, but I wanted to talk about the Jabbas Palace playset. Thank you for tuning into this episode of TVC News. I have been Only One Kenobi. You have been amazing. And as the Tim Tracker says, now it's time to pay the price. Hit the like button there, subscribe to the channel. This is Only One Kenobi. Only One, out.